Mark Carney, Canada's Special Envoy for International Affairs, arrives in Beijing, Canada's highest-level diplomatic visit to China in nearly a decade. His mission to stabilize a relationship strained by years of tension and economic friction. The world is watching, hoping this dialogue signals a thaw rather than a deepening divide. Carney faces a delicate balancing act, maintaining Canada's alliance with the US while managing vital economic ties with China. His meetings, including one with President Xi Jinping, are not expected to yield immediate breakthroughs, but they mark a crucial first step. For years, Ottawa and Beijing communicated only through lower-level channels. Carney's presence signals a cautious willingness to engage directly. The agenda is packed: trade tariffs, national security, and the challenge of rebuilding trust. Success won't be measured by a single agreement, but by the potential to restore a foundation for future cooperation. As Carney begins his high-stakes meetings, the world is reminded of the intricate balance of modern diplomacy. The outcome could set the tone for Canada-China relations for years to come. To grasp the stakes of Carney's visit, we must revisit the 2018 arrest of Huawei's Meng Wanzhou in Vancouver. China's furious response included detaining two Canadians, Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor, an act widely seen as retaliation. The two Michaels crisis dominated Canadian foreign policy for nearly 3 years, freezing diplomatic and economic exchanges. China imposed restrictions on Canadian canola, pork, and beef, inflicting heavy losses on Canadian exporters. Canada responded with tariffs on Chinese goods, deepening the economic divide. Even after the release of Meng and the two Michaels in 2021, trust was shattered. Trade continued, but under a cloud of uncertainty and suspicion. The scars of this standoff have shaped Canada's cautious approach to China ever since. Carney's visit isn't about forgetting this history. It's about testing whether both sides can move beyond it. The memory of the detentions and trade war lingers, shaping every step of this new diplomatic effort. The question now, can dialogue replace distrust? Mark Carney was chosen for his reputation as a pragmatic, data-driven leader, not a career politician. His experience as a central banker gives him credibility as a problem solver in turbulent times. Carney's mandate: cut through political noise and focus on areas of mutual interest. As a special envoy, he can engage in frank, off-the-record talks, bypassing rigid diplomatic channels. His main goal is to listen to China's perspective and clearly state Canada's core interests. The highlight: a direct meeting with President Xi, signaling Beijing's seriousness about a potential reset. The conversation will span economic cooperation, security, and international norms. Carney's mission is part of Canada's broader strategy to diversify its economic partnerships beyond the US. Success won't come from grand declarations, but from quietly rebuilding communication and trust. The hope: to lay groundwork for a more resilient, independent Canadian foreign policy. Carney's challenge is to turn cautious engagement into lasting progress. Trade is both the bridge and the battleground in Carney's talks. Canada wants China to lift restrictions on canola and pork, while China demands a rollback of Canadian tariffs on electric vehicles and steel. Both sides see these measures as protectionist, each blaming the other for unfair practices. Beyond tariffs, the talks will address investment, intellectual property, and the role of state-owned enterprises. Canada's heightened scrutiny of Chinese investment, especially in tech and resources, is a sticking point. At the heart of these disputes is a lack of trust. Without it, sustainable agreements are elusive. Carney's task: establish clear communication and mechanisms for resolving disputes. The economic agenda is inseparable from the diplomatic goal of rebuilding confidence. Canada's relationship with China is shaped by its alliance with the United States. US policy toward China directly impacts Canada's strategic choices, especially as Washington grows more confrontational. The upcoming review of the Canada-US-Mexico agreement complicates Canada's ability to negotiate freely with China. Carney's visit is about showing Canada can pursue independent economic partnerships, even as it honors its US commitments. American trade policy is unpredictable, forcing Canada to hedge its bets and diversify. Washington is watching closely, wary of any move that might undermine Western unity on security and human rights. Carney must reassure the US that engagement with China doesn't weaken core alliances. His challenge: protect Canadian interests while navigating the demands of both superpowers. This balancing act defines modern Canadian diplomacy. For Canadian businesses, Carney's visit could mean the difference between growth and stagnation. The agricultural sector, especially canola producers, has suffered from lost access to China's market. Natural resources, energy, lumber, pulp also depend on stable trade with China. Political risk has made long-term planning difficult for exporters. On the flip side, tariffs on Chinese goods have raised costs for Canadian manufacturers and consumers. The business community craves clarity and predictability after a decade of uncertainty. Carney's goal: re-establish a framework for dialogue, not solve every issue overnight. A successful visit would signal both governments are ready to lower tensions and let economic ties grow. For Beijing, Carney's visit is a chance to counter the narrative of isolation and show it can engage constructively with the West. China faces internal economic challenges and needs stable trade with developed nations like Canada. Reducing Canadian tariffs on Chinese goods would be a symbolic and practical win. Carney's background as a central banker suggests talks will focus on economics, not just politics. China prefers pragmatic dialogue on trade and investment, but won't compromise on core interests like sovereignty. Beijing expects respect for its political system and will resist interference in issues like Hong Kong or Taiwan. The visit is a test. Can Canada find common ground without sacrificing its principles? For China, the goal is to reshape the relationship on terms that suit its strategic priorities. Carney's visit ends quietly. No grand announcements, but a vital channel of communication is restored. Both sides now better understand each other's priorities and red lines. The real impact will emerge in the months ahead, through small reciprocal gestures and technical talks. For Canada, this is a step toward a more mature, pragmatic foreign policy, engaging even with rivals. The mission signals a shift from crisis management to careful, professional diplomacy. Carney's journey won't erase the past or resolve US-China rivalry, but it opens a door that was long closed. The future of Canada-China relations remains uncertain, but a new chapter has begun. The world will watch for signs of a thaw, however incremental. For now, dialogue has replaced silence, a modest but meaningful achievement.